joined now by members of the Tarleton State Texans basketball team. In the center of our podium is the head coach, Chris Reisman. To Coach's left, the far side, we have Sam Marshall. Sam is a sophomore forward from Capel, Texas. On the near side, we have Randall Brody. Randall is a junior guard from Temple Hills, Maryland. And Coach, your impressions, a difficult game. The Buffaloes opened up a 15-point lead at one point, but as your team has done game after game, they came back and had a chance there towards the end.
Well, first of all, let me give Coach Brown and the WT team a lot of credit. I've been in this league for a long time. I've seen a lot of great West Texas teams, and they're one of the better ones I've seen in a long time. I think they're better than they were last year because they're so unselfish. They got guards that can do numerous things. They don't just drive it, but they pass it, they shoot it. They're just so unselfish, and it makes it's a tough recipe to guard. But, I thought in the first half, too many turnovers. Our game plan coming out was to really try to keep the ball in front of us and defend the three and not to overhelp. And I thought we still, at times, besides turnovers, overhelped probably a little bit too much. And the guys that we wanted shooting the ball, they shot the ball and made it. We kind of went into the game wanting to see if a guy like Brandon Hall could beat us. I think both teams were intent on taking away the big man. They did a great job against Jesse. I thought we did a really good job against Quaid. We wanted to keep Quaid Grant out of the paint, and he came out and hit a couple big threes. And against a team like that, you got to pick your poison. What are you going to take away? And we did a good job taking away some things, and you just got to give WT credit. They still found ways to score. And second half, I thought we did a much better job coming out, not turning the basketball over. And we had to make a decision. Are we going to match up with them, or are we going to make the matchup with us? And for the first time all year, I thought we played a lineup to match up with them, and I thought that was the difference in us getting back into the ball game. When they play that small lineup with Mosley and Gotch, it's really tough to keep a big in there. And I thought when you saw us coming back was us trying to match it with them. And biggest takeaway from the game is really proud of my team, really proud of my guys. That's a good WT is a great team. They're 30-3 for a reason. And when we had that game cut to 5 a couple times late in the game, talking about a stop, 1 or 2 stops away from being right where you need to be, but give WT credit. They did a really good job attacking our pressure, getting the basket, make some and ones, and it ended up being the difference.
You talked about matchups throughout a good portion of the game. One of the interesting matchups was the student athlete to your left, Sam Marshall, was on Quay Grant. Marshall got off to an incredible start, finished up with 17 points. Grant had a great game as well. You've got a 6-inch difference there and 2 different completely style of players, but talk a little bit about the thinking of that matchup.
Sam Marshall has no idea, I think, how good he could be in this league. And I've been trying to tell him this for a long time. I don't want to say he's been sandbagging, but he feels like his role is glued to this team. And there's a lot of times early in the year that I knew that's what he could be. But he has a full repertoire that he has not shown this league, and I've been trying to tell him. I think it took us having some players missing for him to understand. Like, I brought him before the game, and him and I had like a 10-minute conversation, and I told him, I have to have this from you. I have to have you show your entire arsenal for us to have a chance. He did that tonight. He's an extremely smart player. He's an extremely unselfish player. But he can do a lot of things that this league hasn't seen, and I was glad to see him. We had to have him play that way. Quay Grant's an incredible player. He's just, the thing I like about Quay is how tough he is. You say you're going to take away the drive, and then he hits some big threes, or he forces penetration and is still able to finish. And so, he's been a key ingredient to their success all year. But I'm really proud of these 2 guys to the right and left of me because they gave us a chance to win the game.
Randall, you have a team high 24 points, 9 of 17 from the field. You had the game winner Thursday night, and then you come right back tonight with this kind of performance. Talk a little bit about, when you see a team, be it West Texas or anyone, hitting threes like they did, you coming back down and, having to chip away, what the mentality is like that.
Playing against West Texas, they have an amazing backcourt, 3 freshmen that can go. They can do everything. They're 3-level players. I'm just that guy. I just had that fight, and I try to bring that grit. And I know that's what Coach Chris recruited me to do. I just tried to do everything that I could to uplift our spirits at the time, because I know we went down 15 at one time. And, I'm that type of guy, that vocal leader, to try to let everyone know that we're not out of this. getting stops, trading buckets, things like that. I just try to be that guy.
Sam, you had 17 points, 7 rebounds. You've heard what Coach just said about you, and you know what Coach asked of you before the game. You came out of the gate. I believe you hit the first eight points that your team scored, and I'm not going to say carried them, but your offense was a key ingredient tonight. Talk a little bit about that, because I know as the season goes on, your role has increased game by game.
Yes, sir. I play well off of other people, and my teammates played well tonight, and I was able to do that. We were missing some key players, so I had to play as aggressive as I've played all season, and that's all I did.
Okay, I'm going to go right here.
Kind of piggyback off that a little bit, Sam. Did you have a little extra motivation knowing that the key players were out and you were going to play a bigger role today?
Of course. My team needed me to play like that, so I was called on, and I performed.
And Coach, kind of looking back, I know you talked a little bit in the other day about some of the lessons, how hard it's been, being a head coach for the first time.
Right.
What are some of the lessons that you've taken away that, to build on as a first-year head coach?
Well, there's no substitute for experience. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, you can be on that bench, like I said the other day, for a long time. And I played and coached with a guy that we were very complimentary of each other. And so it was an adjustment for me at first to learn how to use my staff and how to motivate players in a different role. Because as an assistant coach, you have a different way of motivating players, and then it changes as a head coach. The one thing that I got a really big dose of this year was adversity, whether it was guys having season-ending injuries, guys being out late in the year to an injury or suspension. And so I'm proud of my team for fighting. You got to learn how to put different game plans together for different lineups. And I went into this game not making excuses, but putting the best game plan we could to win the game. I still had a big belief that we could win this game, and I thought you saw that from our team today. They didn't quit. Once again, WT made some incredible shots tonight. I thought they made some big contested threes late in the game. And, you got to give them credit. It's not like something lucky happened. I mean, they went and took the game and made critical plays when they had to. And you got to give them a lot of credit, but I'm proud of my guys. And, I've learned how to, in the face of adversity, keep teams up and motivated and still adjust to my lineups that I have.
Hey, Coach, you spoke on this earlier, but you lose a guy, and you guys have had so many great players through your programs. You lose a guy like David Shadowfick, and yet you said they were better.
Yeah.
I've heard this all year. What do you see? Is it the open of more guys getting more shots for them?
The reason they're better, I believe, is they play so unselfish brand of basketball that I haven't seen. When we played them at their place the first time, we got up 14 in the first half. And there's a team that's able to make runs, and it could be anybody any night stepping up. I really feel like in the past, they really relied on 2 or 3 guys. This year I've seen so many different people step up. When we played them a month later, they were a completely different team. They were firing all cylinders. They played so well in Wisdom Gym, probably the best I've seen a team play, because you can't take away one person. You can't take away 2 people. I mean, they have so many people that can step up. But they have guards right now that play so unselfish, that can break you down. They can space the floor at an unbelievable rate. And they still have one of the best post players in the region, maybe in the country. And when he goes out, the ability to still play with just one post player and still be able to put points on the board is a credit to West Texas A&M staff. And so that's why I think they're a tougher team. I think here's the other thing. They're so much better defensively this year than they were last year. And it's not a knock to Coach Brown and staff, but they defensively get up in you, and they take away the first options of what you do. And that's probably the first thing I should have said is defensively, they are tough. And it reminds me of a lot of my teams that I've had at Tarleton State, where we just take you out of what you want to run and make you play one-on-one basketball. And that's what they did. And that's what they've done this year. And so I think you got to give them a lot of credit. I think as long as they stay healthy, I think they can go a long way in this region. I think they go a long way in the national tournament. But I was really impressed with them.
For the past 42 years, and with over 28 million sold, more people have put their hard-earned money on a Ford F-Series truck than any other pickup in America. Yeah, I'd say that's money well spent. It's Ford Truck Month, America. Time to join the stampede.
Now get 0 for 72 months with 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days on all 2018 F-150s. Plus, get $2,500 cash back on XLT.